Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score. Field down the near side, man open, touchdown. Will Waddle has got it on the run, and he's gone. Jalen Waddle, touchdown. The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Pick off, flying Xavier Howard.
What's good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for yet another one. Appreciate all of y'all coming through tonight. Guys, we are going to preview the Dolphins and the Ravens. It is a mighty task for the Dolphins this weekend, traveling to Baltimore. They are 0-4 lifetime at M&T Bank Stadium. They have not won in Baltimore since 1997. So it is going to be quite the game. And hey, we beat them last year, but I keep coming back to the whole revenge tour. Yeah, I don't know if I really I know, shout out to the homie Neil Driscoll. If you haven't checked, the latest episode of Fin Too Deep is out. Honestly, even if we lose, I just want to go down with a fight. But I've never wanted to be more wrong in my life. I hope they win. I hope they kick the crap out of the Baltimore Ravens. I just got a bad feeling about this one, but then I got a good feeling about Buffalo and Cincinnati. So what do I really know, huh? Appreciate all y'all coming through. We got a bunch to cover tonight. Listen. We're going to talk about this Tua thing, this Tua hype narrative and stuff like that. And the reason why we're going to talk about this for a sec is because, clearly there were some people out here trying to spin a narrative, clipping out portions of Tua's presser, even portions of the answer he gave to the question he was asked, instead of the full context, until they can spin a narrative over it. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Whether Twitter, YouTube, whatever, a lot of these people, you can tell it's the first time they've ever actually evaluated or watched a quarterback in depth. I mean, you can tell, right? People saying, oh, he's got to make this throw when, plays are designed. If that first read is open, usually that's where the ball is supposed to go. That's why it's the first read. And they'll be like, oh, no, he should have gone out, looked off, and got to his third progression because this guy was wide open. And you can just tell people don't even know where to throw on the stems of routes. You know what I mean? It's clearly obvious. And now, the height stuff. Well, let's play the clip so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to play the question and the answer. I'm not going to play you a sentence of it. We're going to play the full thing. All right? So let's play this, all right?
What does practice actually do for a Sunday? Like, what can you get better at these 2 days that can actually help you Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, you want the way you practice to translate to how you play in the game. And so that's why we work a lot on timing. We work a lot on where guys need to be. And for me, if I, for instance, if we have a slant and we have like an over-the-ball player and like another player in the alley and a flat, for me, I can't see because I'm not the biggest guy out there. So if I can't see you, you can't see me, I can't get you the ball. And like spacing with the guys. So if you can't see me, get somewhere to where you can't see me, then I can see you, then I can hit you. And then even within our walkthroughs, that's kind of what I use practice for. Yeah.
So there you go. All right. He told y'all what he used practice for. He laid it out for y'all. Okay. They were talking about throwing slants and timing throws at practice, talking about throwing to spots. Now, I'm 5'11". As I've told y'all know my background, whatever. Believe it or not, I don't give a crap. But I played quarterback growing up. All right. I played it. All right. Rep, flag football, high school, and then I was a backup in college. All right. I was 5'11". I was not 6'4", not 6'5", etc., etc. This is not news. This is not news. Which Russell Wilson's 5'11". Drew Brees was 6 foot. Two was listed as 6'1". This is not news. And what he's telling you, did you even hear what he said? If I can't see you, you can't see me. So all he's saying is throwing lanes. That's why you manipulate your arm and you throw off platforms sometimes to throw into throwing lanes. That's why you'll see guys sometimes sidearm it when they are a basically over-the-top rotation thrower. You'll see them sling the sidearm because they're trying to get it into a throwing lane. This is not news. We've seen even Tua do that. I mean, this is not earth-shattering news. On slant routes, what is the whole purpose of a defensive front? They are trying to push the offensive line back into your space, no matter what size you are of a quarterback, to take away throwing lanes and throwing alleys. That's what the whole purpose of pushing them back on a bull rush is. That's not news. This is not news. And I just don't understand why it's being made out to be like this is some earth-shattering deficiency that no one knew about. Guys, if a quarterback's 6'4", 6'5", and a 6'7", 6'8", 6'6" lineman's pushed in front of him, what do you don't think that throwing lane closes on the 6'4" guy? It's not news, especially on slants. Quick breaking routes over the middle. The middle is where it's the biggest cluster, you know what, on the football field, especially off snaps. That's why. See, did you notice, guys? Go back, not this week, but the week before, week 1 with Herbert. That again, sidearm throwing it through the throwing alley, but you saw that play where he slung that rope right over 2 chasing defenders and in front of a safety to the player and just perfect dime. All right? Go back and watch the play. Go watch the pocket. Literally, go watch the pocket. The throwing alley, the throwing lane is the middle of the pocket. They literally part it like Moses' staff in the Red Sea. Just boom, opens up and it allows them to slide up when the pressure arcs around, he just slides up and then he makes the throw. And shout out to Dr. Draft. He says, thank you, bro. This stuff has gotten out of control. You can tell this is the first time people have ever evaluated or watched a quarterback closely, because this should not be breaking news. This should not be earth-shattering news. This should not be something new. If you knew the position, this is basic 101 of the position. So let's go talk. I want to play now what Ryan Clark said. Because Ryan Clark basically says the people that are making something out of this are negative, and he basically calls you, in so many words, idiots. And this is a guy who's been very unbiased with the Dolphins. And especially with Tua. So let's see. I want to play this for y'all. Let's go over what Ryan Clark has to say, all right?
Sometimes quotes get disseminated, not inaccurately, but you just read the words. Tua said, I can't see because I'm not the biggest guy out there, and people react. Now that you hear the quote in context, RC, do you have any issue with what he said?
No. And anybody else who's making an issue of what Tua Tagovailoa said just don't like him or they want something negative to say. We've seen this from other quarterbacks. He was just honest about what he's dealing with when he's trying to figure out where to distribute the football. Every quarterback in the world looks for alleys, looks for windows, looks for opportunities to have clear sight. And obviously, if you're only 6 foot, you're not going to be able to stand in the pocket tall and statuesque like we see a Tom Brady, like we see a Justin Herbert. But we've seen many quarterbacks that were of slighter
Drew
stature
Brees, Russell Wilson,
be able to find ways to get the football outside of the pocket, find lanes to get the football distributed in the middle of the field, and be good football players. I think when you're looking for something negatively to say about someone and the reason they haven't succeeded to the level that was expected of them when drafted, you want to knock some of the things that you say, oh, those measurables said that when they were coming out of Alabama. Tua Tagovailoa is simply saying this: I have to find lanes to throw the football, and if you're a player on my team or a wide receiver in the route, you have to find lanes or give me lanes to throw into. That's very simple football. Yeah. Everyone who is not stupid understands that. So anybody who's trying to pile on this young man about that is really just looking for negativity.
That's fair.
Everyone who is not stupid understands that. That's literally what he just said. Everyone who's not stupid. That's from Ryan Clark's own lips. That's not from Reason's lips. That's from Ryan Clark's lips. That is from a former safety, a guy who's going to come to Miami and turned us down, and he's been unbiased as an analyst against us. That is freaking from him. And he basically said exactly what I told all of y'all. When I saw people trying to make this into an issue, what are we on? Are you that desperate? Are we getting to that point where we're now that desperate for narratives to use against your own starting quarterback? You're not even Bills and Jets fans. Y'all are drawing up these stupid narratives, and you call yourselves a fan of a team. Oh, but I want to win. I want great. Oh, you want to win, do you? You want to win. Do you? Well, I know you want to count losses against Tua. People still try to blame him for the Atlanta loss when he left the field with the lead and Brian Flores and the elite defense couldn't get it done, but it's Tua's fault, right? People want to blame him for Jacksonville when, guess what? Brian Flores got outcoached by Urban Meyer in the last 2 minutes. If you don't know that, you don't know football. I don't know what else to tell you. You want to win, do you, though? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to win? Well, let's win, shall we? The Dolphins have been to the playoffs 4 times since the year 2000, okay? Also, since the year 2000, we have 8 seasons above 500, all right? Tua, in his last 9 games, 8-1 as a starter. In games played, 16-8. All right, guess what? That 16-8 record has come during 2 of the 8 seasons the Dolphins have had over 500 since 2000. So that means a quarter of our seasons over 500 since the year 2000, he's been the starting quarterback. Oh, you want to win, do you? The guy's already won more on a consistent basis than Ryan Tannehill did, who some of y'all were goo-goo-gaw over. Don't play revisionist history. And but it's the defense reason. It's the defense. Okay, so why couldn't Fitz, Rosen, or Jacoby Brissett replicate that? Fitz was 9-11 as a starter, 4-3 in 2020, and the 4 wins, a miracle face mask in relief against the Raiders, the Jets, the Jags, and if y'all remember the 49ers when we beat them, we had corners playing against us that hadn't played snaps in the NFL yet. And yet they'd been practice squad players for like 6 years. That's literally facts. But against Seattle, L. New England, Tua is 4-0 against New England. As a starter, was Fitz not 1-2? I'm just saying. And Tua's won in larger margins of victory than Fitz did. But it's the defense, right? See, y'all want to blame him for losses, but when we throw out those numbers, where's the one? You want me to do even better? I'll do even better than that. All right? Let's talk about, they're going to say, teams that don't matter. Teams that don't matter. Okay, Tua Tagovailoa has the highest QB win percentage, .875, 7-1 for Super Bowl winning coaches in NFL history on a minimum of 6 starts in the NFL. The guy is 7-1 against Super Bowl winning coaches, and he got a chance to go 8-1 on Sunday. Listen, does Tua need to clean up the bad decision making? 110%. Does he still need to be more consistent in reading all 3 levels? 110%. Does he have stuff he needs to clean up before I can call him a franchise quarterback? 110%. But the guy wins. The guy wins. I don't know what to tell you. Look at his winning, and more than, I believe, about 8 or 9 of those victories are by double digits. Like at least half of his wins are by double digits. I don't know what are we talking about here? 2 and Elway, 4-0 against Belichick. And for Elway to be in the conversation, they got to include a post-game victory. I don't know what to tell you. The kid needs to get better in areas 110%. He needs to clean stuff up 110%. But he's winning and he's not even there yet. Imagine when he's there. Imagine when the kid's there. When the light fully goes on for this kid. He's already showing to you right now, as he's developing, you can still win with me. And I don't want to hear, when you get to the playoffs, you haven't seen him in the playoffs yet. I haven't. I can't even say whether he'd win or lose in the playoffs. I haven't seen it yet. But on a regular season basis, what we've seen, he wins. And I'm going to go even deeper because, people are breaking all this new offense. Oh, we were promised this. They only put up 13 points. Well, let me hit y'all with another little fact. The league average on Sunday was 11.1 drives per team. The Dolphins had 8. Okay? The Dolphins scored on 3 of 8. They only had 1 3 and out. All right? And that last drive, guys were sliding down to keep the clock ticking, etc. They were going to punch in at least a field goal on that 8th and final drive. So technically they should have scored on 4 of 8. So what does that tell me? What? You're going to give us 11.1. We're going to average 5.55 drives a game where we're going to score? That's good. And that's all these new players and this new coaching staff on the offensive side of the football. That's just week 1 of all of them actually being together. Because they've never all been together, and they won't be from here on out because Austin Jackson's going to miss 4 games. But that was the first time everyone was out there, and that's the result we got. See, when you put things into when you put the context and you put things into perspective, it paints a little bit of a different story, don't it? And then, on top of all this, like I've said, McDaniel and Tua both admitted that Tua was having to improvise the offense at certain points in the game because calls weren't coming in quick enough and the headset was going out. Where's all the people who were saying, oh, he's dumb, he didn't know his Wonderlic score. Oh, he's dumb because of he didn't really know the playbook well. So he's dumb, he doesn't have a high football IQ. Now this guy in game 1 of a brand new offense is out there improvising off of his cuff in it. And we're still only had 1 3-and-out. Why is no one talking about how he's smart enough? Where's all the people that were so loud saying, oh, he's this dumb, but now he's proven he's smart enough to run it when the headset ain't working? Where's the same energy? Where's the same energy? Y'all killed him for that. He disproved that in week 1, but no one wants to talk about it. Crickets. And Ryan Clark just basically called all y'all stupid. So, take this L. I've absolutely obliterated all that stuff this week. And then let's talk about the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing. What have I said about him? Tua needs to be elite efficiency, elite accuracy, and high football IQ. That's how he's going to win in the NFL. I've literally said that. Who's out here surprised? If you are surprised by about what Ryan Fitzpatrick said, again, you don't know football and you ain't been paying attention. Who out here thought he was going to win, he was going to be elite with his arm in terms of arm strength and velocity? Who really thought that? We all knew what the intangibles were that he needed to be elite in. This is not, and then he just told you he's very, very good anticipation and accuracy right now. Like, this is not news. People trying to make news out of stuff that should not even be news. Just because you're looking for, are we getting that desperate that now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel? How can I, waking up every morning, how can I get this guy? Like, unbelievable. And then Fitz still praised his accuracy and his anticipation. Oh, well, he didn't say elite. He said very, very good. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yet, in that same thing, Fitzpatrick says the first thing that stood out to him when he saw him was his accuracy. Why do you think that stood out to him? Why? Jesus Louise, bro. Just these people, man. Like, ugh. Tell me you've never evaluated or actually done in-depth analysis on quarterbacks before without telling me you've never actually done film analysis and in-depth analysis on quarterbacks before. Like, Christ. Jeez. Oh, it's mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling. These are not new things. You know, and I'm just going to say Ryan Clark called y'all stupid. Like, a former NFL player called all y'all stupid. What else do I need to say? What else do I need to say? Not much, probably. So, man, the fact that I had to, again, so much time is spent killing false narratives and dumb narratives by me throughout the 556 episodes we've done. I should literally be sainted in this community. It's true. All because people are out of their depth and don't understand football to the full extent here. This is the problem with all these people on Twitter and YouTube breaking down film when they don't know how to really do it. And this is the problem with these people on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, spinning these narratives because they really truly don't understand football. They know basic fundamentals. That's it. It's ridiculous. It honestly is. And to go even further, because I ain't done. You know I ain't done. Let's go even further. Let's look at what Drew Brees said. What did Drew Brees say? Well, this is what Drew Brees said. Drew Brees said this, ladies and gentlemen. Drew Brees says, Doug Flutie told me once that he went back and did something with his high school where he kind of stood behind these guys, Brees said of the 5 and 10 Flutie, whom he teamed with in San Diego. And he said he was amazed at how much he could see standing behind that high school line compared to an NFL line. He's like, you just wouldn't believe it. Brees started laughing at the thought. So I guess it's kind of like when you get in the big truck that's jacked up and you're sitting kind of high above everybody. You're like, man, this is a good vantage view. Then you get back down to a sports car, you're hugging the road, and everybody seems like they're on top of you. It's probably getting some perspective that way, Brees said. But I don't know any other way, and I'm not going to grow anymore, so I really don't care. Like, there you go. Drew Brees relating exactly what Doug Flutie told to him. And he even says, I'm not going to grow anymore, so I don't really care. So Drew Brees is 6 feet. Tua is listed as 6'1". There's an inch difference. So, again, now that's what Drew Brees said about it. This is not news. Drew Brees has talked about that. It's just, y'all got a really honest take from Tua. That's it. So, I don't know what else to say. Shout out to everyone. We got 341 of y'all in the comment section. Smash that like button. Please subscribe if you are new. We just passed 9,200. We are less than 800 away to 10K. I'm going to be doing 3 giveaways when we get to 10K. I'm gonna do a giveaway with 3 winners. All right. So, let's get to 10K, man. So we can start giving back to y'all, all right? So I appreciate all y'all for coming through. Hey, like, comment, subscribe, do the damn thing. Help me out with my friend Algorithm. All right, let's hop into the preview. So let's rock into this, all right, guys? We are going to start off with your Baltimore weather report and what it's going to look like. So it's going to be clear all game. It's going to get to a high of 83 by the fourth quarter. It's going to feel like that 84 as well. Start off at 79. But the humidity is going to drop from 57% all the way to 50% by the fourth quarter. Slight wind out of the southwest, 6 miles. Listen, and there's going to be a little bit of cloud cover, not too much. If any of y'all are going down there and tailgating, reach out to the homie Neil Driscoll. He'll be out there doing his thing. I believe he's going to be in Lot H. He's going to be there bright and early, 8 a.m. in the morning. Again, I say it every time, whether it's hot or not, stay hydrated, people. All right? Just stay hydrated. Do your damn thing. Stay hydrated. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Have fun. And listen, it's going to be a beautiful day. And hopefully, it's a beautiful day on that football field for us as well. Really, hopefully, it is a beautiful day on that football field. In terms of they get the dub for all of y'all traveling out there. Because I know Stephen D got his thing going on. For all of y'all traveling out there and making the effort, man, I hope they get the dub for you. I hope they get it done for y'all because y'all don't deserve any less. So it's going to be a beautiful day. Take advantage of it. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. But at the end of the day, enjoy your soda pops, man. Enjoy your soda pops, people. All right? Enjoy them. So, all right. Moving on. The injury report. It looks like this. Ethan Carter is out with the concussion. He will not be available. Salvin Ahmed, Taron Armstead, Hunter Long, Christian Wilkins, Cedric Wilson are questionable. I'm getting the indication that Taron Armstead is going to play. That's what is being indicated to me right now, that Taron Armstead is going to play. We'll see how it works out. Now, Everyone else full, good to go. We obviously had some rest days, et cetera, et cetera. Eric Rowe, he is good to go, so he will be back in the lineup. Greg Little is who's going to be sliding in for Austin Jackson at right tackle this for the next 4 weeks. We'll see how Brandon Shell works out, but obviously they have a level of comfort with him there. Another interesting thing too, guys. Interesting thing for the Miami Dolphins. Tanner Conner is a full go. And this is interesting because we're going to see, does he affect Mike Gesicki's snap count even further? A guy who, remember, Durham Smythe had about 63% of the snaps. Gesicki only had about, 42? So, going to be very, very interesting to see how this works out. It's going to be, or will he even be active? Is he going to be inactive? It's going to be very interesting to see. Now, let's go to the Ravens. Ronnie Staley, doubtful. He won't play, I've heard. James Prochet won't play. Now, J.K. Dobbins, Marlon Humphrey, Travis Jones, Marcus Peters, Patrick Ricard, and Brandon Stevens are all questionable. All right, Marlon Humphrey did not participate today. Marcus Peters was limited. Brandon Stevens did not participate as well. Now, this turns into a question. I mean, it's got to be asked. Does this mean Jalen Amar Davis is going to be playing for them? You know, like, how is this going to work out? Demarion Williams going to get some reps on the outside? Like, how this going to work for them right now? So, yeah, you look at that. And I don't know. I don't see it ending well. You go to their depth chart. You roll back here. Who's it going to be? So, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. You know, I just showed y'all that depth chart. Who's it going to be? Who's got it for them? Because Jalen Amar Davis is going to get lit up. I think even Brandon Stevens will get lit up. Who's it going to be for them? I don't know. Very interesting to see how this all works out, guys. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all works out. So, man, that is your injury report heading into this. You know, J.K. Dobbins, that guy's back. What's he going to do? Now the running game. See, here's the thing. They were not good with the run last week at all. When you look at what they did, yeah, the Jets, see, because here's the thing too, right? Like, why it's a big question about what's going to happen at corner. Guys, Flacco, he threw for over 300 yards against them. Flacco threw for 309. Right? You know, I just, when you look at Flacco throwing for 309, and then when you go look at the Ravens too, like, they couldn't get their own run game going. Is JK really going to be that much of a difference? Right? I think Kenyon Drake had 31 yards. Mike Davis had like 11 yards. Justice Hall had like 4 or 5 yards. They didn't get anything going. So is JK going to be fed the rock? So he'll be good to go. We'll see how it works out. Listen, I'm not overly worried about a guy like J.K. Dobbins coming back. Let me be very clear about that. You know, I'm very intrigued, and we'll see when we get to the keys of victory, by what's going to happen at corner with them. And the reason why I say that is because they're very, plays are going to be there. I have a feeling plays are going to be there. So, you know, it's going to be this injury report. You know, the inactives are going to be very, very interesting to monitor as we get into Sunday. Right? So, other thing too, man, great thing about Mike McDaniel, if he can win and start 2-0, he'll be the first Dolphins coach to do it since Jimmy Johnson did it in 96. So, big stuff, all right? Let's continue on here. Let's look at how these teams compare. Now, again, it's only after one game, but let's check it out. This is how the teams compare when you look at them. So, in total offense, the Dolphins right now are ranked 22nd. That's because we couldn't run the football. Now, when you look at the passing offense, remember it accounts sacks, yards lost on sacks. All right. So if you look at us right now, we are the 13th ranked passing offense. They're the 19th ranked. We had the 242 yards. They had 211. Rushing offense, they're the 30th ranked. They only had 63 yards. We're 28th, and it's only a 2-yard difference. Now, in terms of scoring offense, they put up 24, which is good for 9th best last week. We put up 20 points, which was tied for 17th last week. Now, sacks allowed. We only allowed 3, which is tied for 21st. They only allowed 2, which was tied for 11th. But on third down, look at us. We were 14th best tied for 14th best in week 1 at 42.9. They were at 38.5 clip. So you look at skip down to third down defense. Now, we allowed teams to convert out of 44, the New England Patriots to convert out of 44.4% completion, which was, tied for 20th. Guys, they were the number 1 third down defense in week 1. They only allowed the Jets to convert 14.3% of their first downs. I mean, the other thing about Flacco throwing 309 yards is he did throw the ball like 59 times. You look at total defense, though. The 271 yards the Dolphins allowed was 7th best in the NFL, while they allowed 378 yards to that Jets offense, that inept Jets offense. Like, just, you look at this passing defense, they only allowed 295 after you include the sacks, which was 27th. We allowed 193 yards, which was 10th best. Now, they allowed only 83 yards on the ground. We allowed 78. So we were the 11th best. They were the 12th best rushing defense in week 1. In terms of scoring, obviously, we were going to be really high, tied for second. We only allowed 7 points. They only allowed 9, which was 4th. But again, the Jets. If the Jets can score 9 on you, we can score more than 20 on you. Now, in terms of takeaways, we had 3 takeaways. That was the 3rd best in the NFL. They had 2 in week 1, which is 7th best. And then giveaways, we were clean. They had 1 giveaway as an offense. So it's only a 1-week sample. How these teams compare is really going to look better once we get into week 6, 7, 8. Once we get there, we start gaining who these teams are over the first half of the season. But, we're on a murderer's row right now with these first 4 games. So we might find out what this offense, what this defense is very, very early on when you think about it, right? So, listen. We're going to need to be a little bit better. They put the ball in Mac's hands a little bit because they had to come back. We'll see if it's a tight game either way, how this defense can consistently hold up against a run, because they're going to throw Kenyon Drake, J.K. Dobbins at you, with sprinkling a little Mike Davis. So it's going to be interesting to see how to work out. And then they got their fullback coming back, and Picard, Juszczyk and Alec Ingold might be the best in the league, but Picard's right there. He's an absolute monster. So we'll see how it works out. That's how these 2 teams compare heading in to their week 2 matchup. All right. Now, let's look at the offensive and defensive keys to victory. Offensively, for me, the offensive line depth must step up. All right? These injuries, it's like, what if last minute Taron Armstead can't go and he's made inactive? Right? And then that could throw everything off, because all of a sudden you're kicking Little to left tackle, Hunt to right tackle, and Robert Jones to right guard. But even still, if it's just Austin Jackson out, Greg Little, you are going to need to put out a better performance than you did in week 1. Don't know what else to tell you. They've got a very, very strong front, as I bring up here for you guys to see. Calais Campbell, Michael Pierce, Justin Matabuki, Odefeoa. Like, they got a very good front. All right? You can see it all right there. So, it's coming for you. You're going to have to be good. You're going to have to be better. Number 2, we're going to have to establish the run, guys. Like, I don't know what else to say. Going to have to establish the run. We're going to need a better output than 65 yards. That's just what it is. This is a game where if it's going to get clicking, get clicking. If there's going to be a game where it gets clicking, please let it be this game. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, Matabuki, let's talk about Justin Matabuki specifically. The kid's an absolute stud. He's coming into his own. And they've got guys up there that are going to absolutely stuff and fill the gaps. All right. Travis Jones is coming back for them this week as well. And he was very good in the preseason for them. Then that's another good body. And they've got Michael Pierce at the 0 spot. So they are very stout against the run. You're going to have to get it done. Edmonds, Mozart, whoever, one of you needs to take Miles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, one of you needs to take the reign this weekend, please. Take the reign. Number 3, I'm going to go with make good decisions with the football. I'm looking at you, Tua Tagovailoa. We can't have those mishaps you had in week 1, or guess what? A team like this is going to convert them and turn them into something. And then what? So, you're going to have to be smart with the football. Tuck it when you have to. Throw it away when you have to. Don't put yourself in a bad position to make a bad decision. Make good decisions with the football. You cannot, in their house, give them extra drives. We got away with it in week 1. I'm not trying to see the same stuff in week 2. Got to be better in the decision-making department, Tua. Please. So those are my offensive keys to victory. 3 keys to victory. We're going to go ahead. We'll get into the defensive keys as victory as well. But I just want to say, like, you know, we got to play a flawless game. Perfect is a mind state that does not exist, but we're going to have to play a flawless game. We're just going to have to. There's no other way around it. Going to have to be careful with the football. All right? Let's get into defensive keys here. Contain Lamar Jackson to the pocket. Listen, we all know what the deal is here. If you're going to try and make him beat you from the pocket, this defense can beat him. Flat out. Can beat him. So, go get it done. All right? Keep him in the pocket. Make him beat you from the pocket. Don't let him beat you with his legs. Don't let him beat you with his improvisational skills. Make him a pocket passer. If you come out of this game and you got beat because Lamar has his best game ever in the pocket, we can live with that. All right? Because that'll be an anomaly. But if you're going to let him go around and he's just going to create with his legs and off platform and outside the pocket, you're going to have a problem. All right? And this is one of those games where Channing Tindall, hey, if you want to spy with a guy, you got Channing Tindall in the middle there. Exploit their beat-up offensive line. Listen, Ronnie Staley is out. Ronnie Staley is out right now. That is a big time loss for them. A big time loss. So, get it done. Get it done. Tyler Linderbaum, listen. Tyler Linderbaum had some really good reps, but he had some really worrisome reps against Quinnen Williams. I think chances are going to be there to get through that pocket and make something happen. I really do. So, exploit their beat-up offensive line. Listen, Ronnie Staley is better than Austin Jackson. Attack, attack, attack. All right? Attack. They got Patrick McCary sticking in for him, so attack. Go get it done. And number 3, don't let their running game get going. Listen, they had 63 yards in week 1. J.K. Dobbins is now coming back. Don't give them life in the run game. Don't. Don't give them faith. Don't give them belief. Crush their hope. Crush their dreams. Do not let them get their running game going against us. Don't be that team. Don't be that team. Get the running game going against them. Don't let them get it going against you, or else it's going to be a long day, because now they can start killing you off play action and bootlegs with Lamar in his legs. The last thing you need to do is allow their running game to get going against you. If the Jets could shut it down, we should be able to shut it down. Period. I'm not trying to hear any different from anyone in that sense. This defense has a chance to show how elite it really is. Go get it done. Don't let the running game get going. Attack that left side, the beat-up offensive line, and keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Listen, they're prepared for the zero blitz. You've heard Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson talk about it this week. We ran a bunch of zone in week 1. We've got capability. We put it on tape to disguise some stuff. I don't think this is going to be a heavy zero blitz package. They started to catch on to it late in the fourth quarter against us. So I think it'll be mixed in, but I don't think you're going to see it as heavy as what you did last year. So, and guess what? The Jets were generating pressure with a 4-man rush at times. We're going to have to do the same. I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. So those are the offensive and defensive keys to victory for me. Next, we're going to go ahead. We'll get into the matchup to watch. It's actually going to be a tag team extravaganza, a 2-on-2 matchup, because like I said, I think there's going to be stuff to exploit against the Ravens. And these two matchups I'm about to show you, these are the matchups to watch. And now I could have gone two ways. The other way I could have gone is our offensive line against their defensive front. I would put that as clearly the secondary matchup to watch, how our offensive line holds up without Austin Jackson against their front. But to beat them, you're going to have to score points, right? So in every sense of those words, the matchup to watch for me heading into week up 2 is a tag team matchup to watch. It's quite simply this. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle against Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. Now, Marlon Humphrey hurt his groin in practice yesterday. He did not practice today, but they listed him as questionable. They didn't even list him as doubtful. So I think Marlon Humphrey's going to test it out. I think he's a gamer. I think he's going to go. We saw what Jalen Waddle did to Marlon Humphrey last year. Even when he wasn't getting targeted, he was turning him inside out. Tyreek's going to be up on him this year. What do you think Tyreek's going to do? If you're battling a groin against either one of these guys, they're going to smoke you. They're just going to smoke you. Like a doobie on 420. You're done. And then Marcus Peters. Two things with Marcus Peters you got to look at. One, finally returning off that leg injury, that ACL, I believe it was. All right? Number two, he's already a big-time risk taker. This man loves to bite for the turnover. So you're a big-time risk taker. You're going to be rusty because you haven't played football in quite some time. I don't think he's played since 2020. And then even still, like, you could slide in Jalen Armour Davis there if you want to slide him in. All right? Again, like I showed you earlier, if Demarion Williams has to come out there, he's going to get torched. Brandon Stevens, he's questionable. He's banged up. And he's CB3. Like, their top CBs are all nursing injuries. And we're coming in with a type of speed. I mean, y'all saw what Antonio Brown did last year to Xavier Howard in the slot when Howard was nursing that groin injury, right? Like, they should be able to eat. Get the ball out quick. Get it into their hands. There's going to be plays to be made. I'm going to tell you right now, there is going to be plays to be made in this matchup to watch. That's why I picked it over our offensive line versus their defensive front. Because I just don't see how there isn't. And I mean, hey, let's include Brandon Stevens. Okay, let's put Cedric Wilson in here. So, I mean, and you already saw what they had. I mean, their linebackers have problems covering speed. Look at how badly in week 1 Patrick Queen was caught biting on play actions and trying to drop back into coverage, and they were getting torched for it. So, they already have issues with speed. Now their corners are all banged up. If we're ever going to beat them at M&T Bank Stadium, here's the chance. Here is your chance. Their offensive line is hurting, and their corners are hurting, and you are a team with a vertical speed threat that no one has. So, listen, I think Humphrey's going to go, even if he doesn't go, and it's Brandon Stevens or it's Jalen Armour Davis and Marcus Peters. There's going to be plays. Get out the torches because we're going to have a chance to light them up. So that's what I'm expecting. Let's see what happens. But that's my week 2 matchup to watch heading into this game. Very, very, very good stuff. Very big stuff. I mean, let's be honest here, right? There is some chance. There's going to be some chances to make some plays. That's just what it is. So let's go make the plays. We got this receiving core to exploit weaknesses just exactly like this. Exploit them. It's going to be very interesting to see how we attack them offensively. Very, very interesting. Get them on their heels right away. Get them on their heels right away. We got the speed to do it, and they got the injuries to let it happen. Let's be real right now. All right? So, those are my matchups to watch. Those are my keys to victory. Now, there's an article, a 6-pack of news and notes from Barry Jackson that I wanted to go over with all of y'all. That came out earlier today, so let's get into it. So, a 6-pack of Miami Dolphins news on Friday. The Dolphins love how Connor Williams, the left guard in Dallas, has thrived at center. He had 2 bad snaps, I counted, on Sunday, by the way. His new position for the Dolphins, he opened the Patriots game with a high snap that Tua Tagovailoa jumped to catch but graded out very well. He did some really cool stuff, Coach McDaniel said Friday. I was very, very happy with his play. The biggest thing with him is he knows he can play the position very well. I can tell internally. He's demanding a lot of himself. At center, your demands aren't just physical. He will tell you the first 3 things that went wrong because that's his personality. He should be gaining confidence. It's my job to make sure his confidence is where it should be, and it should be pretty high. It's amazing he's come this far in a short period of time. Williams emerged pleased from his first NFL regular season game at center. It was good to get the first one in, he said. I feel natural at position. I consider myself a center now after 4 years at guard for the Cowboys. As expected, the Dolphins placed right tackle Austin Jackson on short-term injured reserve, sidelining him for at least 4 games. And the Dolphins did not immediately fill his spot on the 53-man roster. Tight end Ethan Carter was also ruled out for Sunday's game at Baltimore. Listed as questionable for Sunday was Taron Armstead, Christian Wilkins, Cedric Wilson, Hunter Long, and running back Salvin Ahmed, and they were all limited at Friday's practice. Armstead on Friday declined to say whether he believes he will play on Sunday. As if he's hopeful he'll be able to play, he said, "That's my goal every week. I'm trying to play every snap. It can be challenging if you let it bother you mentally, especially a guy like myself where injuries have been my Achilles heel. Being depressed doesn't heal an injury at all. It just makes it worse." Asked how his toe was feeling, he said, "Hard to say. He hit it hard today with treatment, doing everything we can. I've had to become a master compensator. I've added tools to my tool bag to help me succeed in games where I'm not feeling my best or dealing with something." Mike McDaniel said of Armstead's availability, "If he can play, he will. He has a high pain tolerance. He loves playing games. He's played games with worse injuries, but what we don't want is set stuff back even further along in the season." Greg Little will start in Jackson's absence. Very confident in him, McDaniel said of Little, who played 45 snaps in the opener after Jackson left with an ankle injury. If Armstead cannot play, the Dolphins could use guards Robert Hunt or Lee Meichenberg at the other spot. Ronald Coleman is the most obvious internal option to be the other active roster, be on the active roster Sunday, either through an elevation from the practice squad or a signing to the 53-man roster. McDaniel said the decision to place Jackson on IR wasn't easy. What we wanted to avoid after we took all this into consideration is we don't want it to linger the whole season. We like the work he's gotten done. Meanwhile, the Ravens' top 4 cornerbacks are injured. Marlon Humphrey listed as questionable with a groin. Marcus Peters hasn't played since 2020 and is listed as questionable with a knee. Brandon Stevens listed as questionable with a quad injury, and Kyle Fuller out for the season with a knee injury. Also, Baltimore listed starting offensive tackle Ronald Stanley as doubtful. Running back J.K. Dobbins is questionable but practiced fully on Friday. Whether the Dolphins blitz the heck out of the Ravens again will be the most fascinating subplot of Sunday's game. Per PFF, no team in the NFL has blitzed more than the Dolphins since week 1 of last season at 44%. Meanwhile, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson has a 53 passing grade from PFF, 34th out of 39 qualifying QBs, and a 77.8 QB rating, 30th in the NFL when blitzed since the start of last season per PFF. Jackson threw for 238 yards and had a 73.6 passer rating in that 22-10 Dolphins Thursday night win last season when Miami's blitz-heavy attack throttled the Ravens' offense. The Dolphins didn't have any safeties back in coverage on 33% of their defensive snaps against the Ravens last November, an unusually high number. Brandon Jones' 6 sacks since the beginning of last season are the most by an NFL safety. What makes him such a good blitzer? His explosiveness, his agility, his quickness, his physicality. Safeties coach Steve Gregory said this weekend. All of those things that can help you as a blitzer, his timing, his understanding of the scheme, and how we're trying to send him and things like that. With all of our guys that we send, those are key points to being an effective and good blitzer. Unlike last season's team can elevate each practice squad player 3 times instead of 2, but an NFL team cannot elevate more than 2 practice squad players for a single game. Last Sunday, the Dolphins elevated River Craycraft and Verone McKinley, who played on special teams. What is McKinley's NFL talent? He has really good ball skills, Gregory said. I think his angles to the football and his understanding of the game, his smarts, his wisdom as a football player are a little bit beyond his years, which is what I had in my prospect preview, right? The Dolphins used fullback Alec Ingold in several roles against New England, a ball carrier in short yardage situations, as a lead blocker, on a short pass pattern, and on a sideline 20-plus yard 3rd and 1 throw that went incomplete. And this is only the beginning. According to the Dolphins offensive coordinator Frank Smith, who was with Ingold for 2 years with the Raiders. I was fortunate to be there when we drafted Alec, Smith said. We had him at the Senior Bowl. His high school coach was my high school coach at Wisconsin. He's done a fantastic job. He was a high school quarterback. Guys who were high school quarterbacks have a great understanding of the game. Mike McDaniel and Eric Stidsville feel we are just scratching the surface with what we would like to do with him. You saw in Vegas, they were playing him all over the field. Bonus fun fact, the NFL tweeted the notable statistic this week. Tua Tagovailoa has the highest quarterback winning percentage, .875, and a 7-1 record against Super Bowl winning head coaches in NFL history with a minimum of 6 starts. He's 4-0 against Bill Belichick, 1-0 against John Gruden, 1-0 against the Rams, 1-0 against Sean Payton, and the only loss was to Andy Reid. Tagovailoa faces Super Bowl 47 champion John Harbaugh in Week 2. So, there you go, guys. Man, 48 hours away, people. Oh, I'm hyped. Can you feel it? Because as usual, I'll be live around 12:45. We'll be going live for the game. You already know what time it is. Ravens, Dolphins. As far as let's give my prediction here. I'm torn. You know, I'm seeing this either being a 31-27 Ravens victory, or I'm seeing this being like a 1916 Ravens victory. Either way, I think it's going to be close. I'm hoping our defense shuts down that run game and they really don't get it going. But, I'm going to go with 31-27. I'm going to say because they're not going to throw as much zero blitz at Lamar, he's going to be able to make some plays. Our offense will make some plays. And I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle. I really do. I really think this is going to be a hard-fought battle. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we win. I hope we beat the ever-loving piss out of them. I'm just going off of what I feel, because this is the best way for me to describe it. My heart says the Dolphins. My head says the Ravens. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm going to be betting on the spread. I might just be taking, player stat parlays. I don't know. But as for this game, it's going to be a tough one. The Dolphins have never won at M&T Bank. They're 0-4 dating back to 98 when it opened. They haven't won in Baltimore since 1997. It's just it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one. We'll see how it rolls out. But hey, I can't wait. And guys, I do want to say before I get out of here, if you haven't yet, please do me the favor. Go over right now after this stream. I want you to go check out FinsideTheNFL.com. Please go check it out. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be impressed. Go check out the shop, the merch shop. You're going to like what you see. It's a merch shop for Dolphin fans, not just Finside the NFL fans. We've got a couple Skylar designs coming for y'all. I mean, listen, you can go get Fin coins that you can put towards free merch stacking up. So go check it out, man. FinsideTheNFL.com. You ain't going to regret it. I'm going to be honest with you. You ain't going to regret it. Go check it out. Go show some love. Go, and I appreciate all of you who have already made this site such a success by checking it out, checking the numbers out, and all of y'all that have been buying stuff. I appreciate all of y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all for supporting myself. That's just another way to support the channel. As always, you can join the Patreon, patreon.com/FinsideTheNFL, or you can join and become a YouTube channel member just by clicking join down below next to the subscribe button. I give my inside information, all my insider updates to you guys, and I'll have specific content coming out for channel members and Patreons during the season. All right, guys? As always, you already know what time it is. I will see all of y'all on the next one. We'll be live Sunday at 12:45 for the Ravens, for the Dolphins. You already know what time it is, baby. Fins up all day, every damn day, even beyond the grave in which we'll lay. Have a blessed Friday night. Have a blessed Saturday. And let's go get this dub on Sunday. Check your pulse, baby. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one. Take it easy, guys.